What is up, everyone? Joe Wager here. That's right, got my face in the corner. Thought I'd share some behind the screens action because I'm looking extra cute today. Let's check out this video of Hudson. I believe his last name is pronounced Ayre. It's Ayre. Hudson. This is an awesome video. Oh, and to give credit, we have the legend Nick Percy. This is one of my all-time favorite throws. If you want a throw to study and learn from, this is a fantastic throw right here. I'll show you this video of Nick a few times, and I'll show you Hudson a few times, and then we'll get on to it. Mind you, he is throwing in a wet circle. Boom. Let's watch Hudson. Alrighty, let's do this. First thing, and I'm gonna try to make this short. I'm trying to get better at making these videos shorter. First thing I'm gonna do, we're gonna have a little more structure. I'm gonna go through, I'm just gonna show you certain points that I'm looking at. I'm not even gonna say anything. I'll try, at least. First thing I like to look at is where's everything when this, oh, by the way, I flipped Percy around so that we're both lefties right now. Where is everything when his left foot comes off the ground? Let me make sure. Yeah. Left foot comes off the ground right after this frame. Let's see. This is not bad. Sorry, I'm not saying anything right now. I'm just showing you. Let's go to where we are when his left foot makes contact. And I've already looked through this, and you guys are going to be very, Hudson, this is, I'm not going to say anything yet. So we have contact right about here. I'll let you look at that for a second. And then let's look at where we are when this foot comes down. What people like to call double support. And look at that. Not going to say anything. Now, let us look at our release. Let's get to the frame right before release. So, right here. Boom. Let's take a look at that. I'll let you take a look. I see a few things. And real quick timeout. This is a great way if you are a young thrower or have never had to coach yourself. What I just did is a decent way to kind of walk yourself through something. If you're like, oh, what do I look at? Try this. Compare the videos. Where are the certain body parts? Where's your left arm when your feet, certain feet come off the ground, hit the ground? Vice versa. Maybe you match up your left arm and someone else's like this. Let's stop it right when his, it'd be his right elbow points towards us, his humerus, if his humerus had a laser coming out of it. Let me find probably that one. So you can say, what's the difference in these videos or these frames? I would argue this is not as good because the left arm is, I'll say right now, Hudson, his left arm stays wrapped far too longer than it should. Whereas Percy starts to open up a little sooner. So that's why you have a very big difference in the lower body. But that's my quick little tidbit of advice. Let's get on with this. Let's make this video kind of short. Let's go for under 10 minutes. All right, let's watch Nick again. Boom. Real quick, as I may have mentioned, I send this video to a lot of people. I say, if I see someone who is out of control, they like to go really fast out of the back, they're just trying to throw fast, I send them this video and say, hey, here's Nick Percy. Nick throws 65 plus meters, and he's going way slower than you out of the back. What does that tell you? Look at this. This video is my definition of control. Nick is controlling the hell out of this throw. Now, the wet circle might help. I tend to control myself a little more when I'm throwing in a wet circle, but Nick is pretty consistent with this. Nick, if you're watching this, dude, big fan, man. Um, so yeah, very controlled throw. I love everything about his throw. Let's check Hudson out again. Just want to watch it again. Boom. So the first thing I noticed in this video, and probably the most important thing, is the left arm. You're throwing kind of like a shot putter. The way you pause real quick. Let me break a wall real quick. This left arm, I absolutely love how you lead with your palm here. That's something I've messed with a little bit. I love how it just kind of sets you up out of the back. It's way easier to rip your arm open if you lead with the back of your hand, but if you lead with your palm, it just feels like it slows you down a little more. Which in this case it does not, because our issue is the left arm rips open. And I say this every video, the issue might not be the left arm ripping open, the issue is just that it's ripping open faster than the lower body can open up and drive ahead. So what I would tell you, Hudson, is this is not too bad. Slow it down a little bit, control the upper body. We got Nick, control it. Watch his upper body. Take your hand, cover his lower body below his waist. 3, 2, 1. You see that. Now do the same thing with Hudson. Take your hand and cover his lower body below his waist. It's way more jerky. It's a new word. So what I'm seeing is rip open, you pause a little bit, and you wrap hard. You do a freaking Tom Walsh shot put wrap right here. This left arm stays way back when it doesn't really need to in the discus throw. You look at Nick. Nick is a little unique. No one is textbook. I'm not telling you to copy Gerd Cantor or Nick Percy or anyone. What Nick does that I think is unique is he doesn't really have much of a wrap. He has a very controlled left arm here, but he doesn't hold it back at all. So what we have here is two opposites. Let's see. Right when the discus points towards 12 o'clock, let's look at the differences. Hudson, his discus is pointing into the sector. Nick is already kind of opening up right here. I'm left-handed. I can't really copy that. Nick is opening up a little more while Hudson is still wrapped behind like that. Hudson, biggest thing I'm going to tell you with your left arm is don't wrap it so hard. Don't come across your chest so hard like you're throwing shot put. Get a micro, as you're going through the circle, it opens up, hold it for a sec, and then rip it open. Instead of rip open, wrap, rip open again. Again, I want to see open up, pause, open up again. It's just more subtle than shot put. I like this camera thing. I can demonstrate. So, Hudson, again, I admire how well you open up out of the back. There's more control to be had though. Control it, and then don't wrap so hard. If you do that, you naturally probably won't end up wrapping so hard. And then when you do your little mini discus wrap, open it up a little bit sooner. Right here is good. We start to see that left arm open up, and then we have our boom. So we're moving on from the left arm. I have some other things to show you. Right at this point of release, the point before, I see a few things. Let's look at the lower body only. I usually don't point this foot out, but it is showing us something pretty important. And first off, Hudson, awesome job with this foot. Very good job. I don't know if Dane is coaching you there or what, but it looks like he's been doing very well. Or whoever's coaching you, credit to them for overall getting you an awesome throw. So, Hudson, what I'm seeing here, and everyone, what I'm trying to get you to see is if you have a laser coming out of your hips, men, this should be something relatable, something pointing out of your hip area. Where's that laser pointing for Nick? His is pointing, I don't know, maybe towards these trees over here. Where's his chest pointing? His chest is even more over here. Hudson, where is yours pointing, your laser? It's hard to tell with the black pants. I'm going to say somewhere over here. Where's your chest pointing? somewhere over here. The head, I'm not a big head guy, but your head is pointing over here. Nick's is over here. Do what you want with that information about the head. I'm not really looking at it. So we have three things. Let me change the color. Make this, no, your hips over here. Your chest is over here on the left side of the sector. Nick is pointing over here and over here. What should that tell you? That should tell you he has a lot more separation. He's unleashing that separation. He has more separation or elastic energy to unleash into that discus. That's going to help him out a ton. This as well, the left arm here. I've seen guys throw like 65, 70 meters with the same left arm. So don't stress too much about having your left arm down at your side, down here. But if we look at Nick, he is demonstrating textbook left arm, whereas yours is kind of down by your side. One tip I hear people say is pull it in and point your palm to the ceiling, palm to the sky. So boom, that kind of helps you. Look, if I rotate my palm, if I keep my palm up, I can't really pull my elbow out. If my palm is down, I can do whatever. So sometimes thinking palm up will help you pull it in to your side a little better and clean that up. So how did we get here? What's causing this dilemma? We've already identified the dilemma, which is taking feet off your throat. What is causing that? I think it's you being upper body dominant. You really try to get after it when you unleash that left arm. You go, instead of a really long push, long pull, using your entire range of motion, you stay wrapped up. You get contact and you try to slap it real quick. That's what you want to do. You just haven't set yourself up to slap it for as long of a time as Nick has. Boom, boom, boom. Watch his left arm. This is beautiful. Left arm rips in, and he is slapping it from here all the way to here. Whereas you, if you kind of watch it and just like, not even technical stuff, where are you really slapping that disc? Right here to here. You get much less range of motion. I'm not a huge catch the discus back guy. I think 10 years from now, I don't think anyone's going to give a crap where your discus is when your second foot gets down. Don't quote me on that. I think there's changing philosophies, changing principles. I don't think it's as important as I initially was coached for it to be. Though it is super important. If you're catching a discus way late, obviously there's going to be some downsides. And we could argue, Ryan Krauser threw 237 in high school. You go watch that video. I have never seen anyone catch a discus further back. He catches it, you want to say catch the discus right here. He is all the way back here. Huge range of motion there. Definitely contributed to his big throw. So, Hudson, we're already at 13 minutes. Crap. So, Hudson, what I want you to do is control the left arm out of the back. Don't wrap it so hard. Don't hold it so hard. And if you do that, you start opening up a little bit sooner, you're going to have more room to slap that disc. And I want you to think about pointing those hips down that right sector line before you release the disc. That's going to help you. Use your hips, not your chest. I had something else. Your orbit. I'm not going to go crazy into the orbit right now. I have a video. Hudson, I want you to go watch this video. Anyone else who's curious about this, go watch this video of mine. It's called Scooping or Releasing Low, Fix Your Orbit. Something like that. Go find it. Actually, I'll try to put it on the end of this video if I can. Hudson, let's watch your orbit. Low point, good. High point, which is not much of a high point. So you're hitting your orbit early. Where do we come up from? Say this is your low point. Boom. So that tells me let's pretend I'm making chalk in the circle. Your high point points down the left sector line, and your low point is usually over here. It should be, since you're a lefty, or at least the video is telling me you are, it should be swapped. High point, right sector line, low point, 180 degrees away. Let's look at Nick's. Beautiful. Also, another thing, watch how the discus doesn't drop so hard out of the back. It goes from here to here at its lowest. You go from here and you're a little lower down. Yeah, so do consider keeping it up a little bit. Like hammer throw, you want to start off more flat and finish with a more aggressive orbit. That's usually how it goes. Let's watch Nick. So he hits his low point, very subtle low point. Now you tell me, where's the highest point that discus is hitting? I would say right there. Okay, nice, point into the sector. I'm not going to try to manipulate that and make it look like it's right sector, but that's usually what you want. Let's look at his low point. Lost it. Somewhere in there. We'll call it this one. And then he releases, look at that, freaking flat, and boom. Hudson, we have our low point, our high point that is not high enough. I need that. I don't need it, but you need to at least get it above your shoulders. Go watch Gerd Cantor. I love his orbit. That orbit's going to help you a lot too, because then when you catch it, you're not going to be back here. You can kind of have it up a little bit more, and that's a feeling I love. If you guys have seen my throws, I go a little too crazy with the orbit. Sometimes I get carried away with making it look pretty rather than effective, and that orbit looks very pretty to me, and I do believe it's effective, but I get carried away with it. Let's get that discus a little bit higher here. Again, go watch the video where I talk about orbit, so I'm not going to spend 10 minutes explaining what to do and what to think about here. And then we have our low point, and boom. So I think I covered some important stuff. One more thing I want to talk about is your sweep. That is pretty high. That's like level with your hips. Don't worry about it. The sweep, as long as you keep this going right here where you pull it in really well, I'm not even going to tell you to change it. Be yourself, do your own throw. Don't go trying to copy a textbook athlete. Keep that up. I'm not even, whatever, I said enough. There was one more thing, I think. The old school coach inside me is telling me you're kind of falling into the middle a little bit, which I do really bad, so I can't really say much about that. But you really aren't. This arm coming way out here is kind of helping you mitigate that falling into the middle. So I'm not too concerned. Nick here, he does the same thing. He gets way out there. Guys, this is some good advice if your coach ever says, stop falling to the middle. Dude, I got yelled at so much for this. Let me get, whatever. Pretty much, if you go way out here, boom, way out, that's going to prevent you from falling into the middle, hip dropping, you falling straight into the middle of the circle too soon, which feels like a powerful position to me, but it kind of limits your path through the circle, how much room you have to drive through. So, whatever. That's for you to figure out on your own. Keep working on that. Again, I love that left arm. Ooh. We could really squeeze these together. That's a little wide. I already know Percy is going to... Look at Percy holding up my coaching stuff. Backing it up. Love it. Look how tight those knees are. This is textbook for, you know, you say hold the knees tight. Come check out this video. This is amazing. So one thing I like to think about, this is gonna be funny. I'm about to draw something funny. You ever play with Legos? Yeah, you have. You got one Lego brick right here. God, that is ugly. Why won't it let me draw? Boom. Oh man, I know I can draw better than that. That's a Lego brick. And this is a Lego brick. Sorry it's ugly, guys, but you want to think about getting the back of your knee, the front of your knee, your patella, you know, your kneecap, get it into the back of the other knee. So his patella right here is getting into the back of that knee right there. That's a cue I like to use. Hudson, that's definitely something you could apply here because that's a little wide. And it might be causing you to, look at that angle, it might be causing you to fall over a little bit. It's the opposite angle right there. Interesting. That's cool to see. Huh. Just crack the code. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. Maybe it does. I mean, I did. You can see. Let's follow the path of your head. Boom. Yeah, that's everything we have until release. My Apple Pencil, this thing is not working. All right. Oh, that is neat. His head follows a much different path than yours. So, this is interesting. I've never actually taken my time to look at this. If you make an arrow, whatever, he's really, his head is going back and forth from that direction. Even if we start here and go into it, boom. So that's his head path. Yours. Ah. Just going up, down, way to the right, down to the left, and straight forward. Hudson, I wish I was smart enough to tell you what this means. I really don't, guys. I'm just looking at this. It does, to me, at least that last bout. The most important thing I think is this right here, where that last little jolt is. That's our difference in direction. That I think is super interesting. What that might tell me, if you were like a puppet and I could fix everything, I would say let's not worry about this too much, but at the very end, let's do that instead. I think that would clean it up a little bit. Even further, I could say instead of coming all the way out here, let's come right down to here and then come up. Wait, that was the wrong way. Right there. Then come up. Boom. Let me change the color of this real quick. I would say, hey, boom, Boom. What am I doing, man? Don't worry about all that. But Hudson, awesome job. Guys, whoever, I doubt anyone actually watched this far other than Hudson maybe. Forgive me for totally going off and looking at the head lasers and the lines. That's not as important as things like fluidity. I forgot to point this out. Hudson, watch the fluidity. You go open, pause, rip open. Open, pause, rip open. Whereas Percy, we have a continuous acceleration. Open, oof. It goes. Whereas we have over here. Yeah, I just made those noises. Hudson, I gave you a lot of things. Hope these help. And I must say, technique is looking awesome. Your foundation is amazing. One of the most important things in the throw is your lower body, and everything you're doing is very well. Tighten up that gap. Maybe consider cleaning up the sweep a little bit, getting that foot a little bit lower. But don't stress too much about that. You got the foundation down. Work on the upper body. Clean that up. You're going to be doing awesome. I don't know what your PR is. I don't remember. But these throws are looking, if that's 1.6, 170, 180 by the end of this season. You might be already throwing that. I'm not sure. But awesome job, man. Keep it up. And if you guys are interested in a technical analysis, message me on Instagram. We'll talk about it. Thank you for watching, guys.